you ever felt.
It's the Rob's Rant Show.
With your host, Rob Bell.
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah.
Donald Trump? Jeff Sessions? Bill O'Reilly? Betty Shelby? What are these people doing and what are they saying? We're going to talk about that when I come back. This is Rob Bell, and this is Rob's Rant. Bill O'Reilly, Jeff Sessions, Betty Shelby, and of course, Donald Trump. All these names really should ring a bell to you because they've all been in the news lately. And the common denominator with all of the names that I just mentioned is that they all are getting away with murder. And in one case, literally. If you take the case of Betty Shelby, for example, the police officer from Tulsa, Oklahoma, who shot the unarmed black man, her trial is coming up in the next month. She had a nerve to get on 60 Minutes last Sunday and give them an interview. In any interview, tell them the reason why she shot that black man is because she felt threatened. Because when he went to the car, she didn't know whether he was going for a weapon or not. The entire time he was walking away from her, he had his hands held high. Even one of her partners came through and he had a taser. And the man had his hands held high. They had every opportunity to tase that man before she shot the fatal shots that killed that black man in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Well, she basically got on 60 Minutes to assist her with her trial that's coming up next week or next month to let people know that this was not a racial incident. She feared for her life. She felt like her life was in danger. It is the cliche that every police officer uses when they use deadly physical force against people. Because that's how we're trained. And I say we because I'm a former police officer. And when we were in the police academy, the cliche was, if you feel like your life is in danger, you can use deadly physical force. And so if you've paid attention to every trial that police officers have been through for killing black men in America, the overwhelming theme was they felt like their lives were in danger. And this is what she's going to say. She said it in a 60 Minutes interview. She's going to say next month in her trial. And believe you me, she's going to walk. Moving on, Jeff Sessions, our new Attorney General. He has just passed legislation to, and I'm paraphrasing, give local police officers jurisdiction not to really put too much emphasis on the people who are being shot and brutalized by police officers, but more emphasis on the types of investigation that go on during these investigations and to ensure that there's some integrity in the investigation rather than look at what happens with the victim. He even has halted the further investigation of the Baltimore Police Department in the Freddie Gray case. He's put that on freeze. He's put that on hold. Well, if you don't see where this is going, you are walking around with blinders on. I said months ago that once Jeff Sessions gets into office, he's going to give police departments around the country carte blanche to use police brutality tactics, deadly physical force, and when the Department of Justice, the Department of Justice is headed by him. And they're not going to go in and investigate these cases. And if they do, they're not going to investigate them to the tune of ensuring that the victim gets justice, but more so to make sure that the police officers are getting exonerated for what they do. Jeff Sessions has to go. And I don't know how he even got into office in the first place. moving right along, Bill O'Reilly and his racist whatever has a nerve to say what he said to Maxine Waters while they're conducting an interview. He laughs about it. He thinks it's funny. And now when people speak out against it, he doesn't understand what the problem is. And there are other people who don't understand what the problem is. Well, what the problem is ever since the king of the buffoons, Donald Trump, has gotten to office, all these people have decided they want to come out and do and say whatever they want, especially when it involves African Americans. And they'll be the first to say, oh, it's not racist. I'm just expressing my personal opinion. I'm expressing my right to say what I want to say. And, people are just doing and saying what they want to say, and this country is going to hell in a handbasket. And it's under the helm of the biggest buffoon of them all, Donald Trump. We're not finished. We're not finished at all. We're going to move into an era where at some point, this country is going to explode. And it's going to be ugly. We got situation over in Korea. We got situations in Russia. We got situations in Syria. Oh, and by the way, everybody is feeling sorry for what's happening to the people over in Syria. And to a large degree, I do too. But guess what? The same things that are happening over there are happening right here under our nose. Our children are getting raped, molested, tortured, and killed, just like the children over there. But nobody seems to want to do anything about it. Oh, and what happened to the investigation of the girls who are missing in Washington, D.C.? Nobody wants to talk about that. We'd rather talk about what's happening over in Syria. Why? Because the things that are happening here are mostly happening to our people, and we know who our people are, and it's of no consequence or concern to the powers to be. Wake up, people! Start saying something about this stuff. Start protesting about stuff that really means something, and start to make a change for us in this country. This is Rob Bell, and this is Rob's Rant.
Are you listening? Damn.